Well, good morning. Sorry we started a little late this morning. This is what happens when you don't put out your trash the night before. And you forget that you do not have enough of your coffee that you like. So I had to figure that out this morning. But we are here. We are here. Today is day 20. Today is day 20. So I am back using the camera. We're gonna pray that this camera stays because I like the quality. I went back and I watched yesterday's live, and the first 5 minutes up until everything went haywire, everything was looking really good. Like the quality. So I want to keep this going. I just have to figure out this camera. So this is what happens when you get new technology. And even though I am pretty good with technology, something happens. And I know I'm trying not to look up and down at the same time. But we're gonna figure this out. So something else might have to be added and purchased to keep my eyes up here. Like my notes are down here, the screen is down here, but we're gonna figure it out. So don't worry. But good morning. I am your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. We are back for day 20. We are almost at the finish mark of my 21 days of living and thriving as Miss Inspiration, where I take you on a journey with me to reclaim my space, my gifts, and understand that God needs me to continue to stay in that energy of being an inspirational speaker, a lifestyle strategist, and an author. And I took some time away, and I felt like this was a great stepping stone to reclaim and be Miss Inspiration in every aspect of my life. So on my jobs and relationships and friendships, in my communities, every space, not just publicly as a public figure as an inspirational speaker. So that is what I have been doing. Good morning, Paula. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. It is Wednesday. You want to know what? Because I'm thinking the second to last day of the series. Yeah, you start thinking like, oh yeah, today is Thursday. Today is Wednesday. Yes. But today's going to be a great day on purpose, with purpose, right? We're going to make it a great day. But yeah, so I have been having a great time with everyone who's joining live. Those of you that are watching on the replay, make sure that you hashtag replay so that I know that you were here with us. And also, if you can, share it with 5 people. Share this video with someone that you think might need this message or you think would be great for this community to just chime in because, starting next week, we're going to be here every day, 7 a.m. for at least 30 minutes. So I'm going to try to push myself to them 30 minutes. All right, I'm going to start having like a whole segment and I'm going to start timing myself. But next week, Monday, we'll be starting officially Monday to Friday, 7:05. You know how I am. At least I'm admitting I know where I am not 100% perfect with time. 7 through about 7:30, 7:40, 7:30, 7:40. We'll put it like that. But I'm excited for that. And this has helped me to get re-excited about being in front of the camera, being on stage again. And so I am just thrilled to do that and do that more in abundance because these last 21 days I've been really reflecting a lot, and I'm just getting good insight as to what to bring, what to add, what not to do, and things of that nature. So let's just jump into today's prompt. So today's prompt is why I'm done taking steps back from my calling, right? And so the one main thing for me, and y'all have heard me talk about this in so many different capacities over the last 20 days, where I'm turning down opportunities, ignoring, unfortunately it's true, ignoring the responses and the outreach from potential clients because I don't feel like I'm in the space to do it or I'm the most qualified person to do it. Stepping back also means being delayed, like intentionally delaying situations, intentionally knowing that I am not responding, I'm not answering what God is telling me to do, or I'm not just doing it the way He wants to, or I'm just like, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow ends up turning into 3 months. But the one thing I think I haven't really talked about a lot is, I haven't really used this term in these last 20 days is self-sabotage. Yeah. So if I could be very, very honest, self-sabotage has been something that I have done quite often. And it is not a good thing to do. It falls in line with imposter syndrome. But when you self-sabotage, especially when you can be aware of it, that is where we're going to see Tanisha intentionally shrinking herself and knowing that I'm delaying my own growth and my own progress. So when you know that you're self-sabotaging, that's exactly what you're doing, right? Every time that um you just don't show up and do what you know you're supposed to do, or you don't show up and do it how you know that you're supposed to do it. And I know, like, for me, that's been a huge thing. Like, like, you're supposed to do this in this particular way, and you're not doing it because you're overthinking, right? Overthinking is also another thing that I do a lot. And so that's something that I have been challenging myself over since I moved here. I think since I moved to Oklahoma, it has helped me to not overthink so much, because it's like I don't have to, like, why are you worrying about and creating these narratives that don't even exist, Tanisha? Like, that's something that I have to actually ask myself. And so once I start asking myself that, it starts making me realize, like, you're creating narratives that don't exist, which can keep you equally as stuck as anything else. So, I definitely think, I don't, like I said, I think I share so many, like, I don't even think anything comes to mind, like, really, like, yeah, you self-sabotage that. I mean, I think, like, so when I think about my book, right, Dear Single in Love is right now in one physical store. Tulsa has about, between Christian bookstores, I've seen they had about 4 of those here. Because, I don't know if you guys know, fun fact, Tulsa is like the capital of religion. Like, I want to say all religions. Like, we actually have an area downtown called Cathedral. I think it's called Cathedral area or something like that. And it's like you have almost every major church that is here. And I think there was one of the pamphlets that at least I used to read. Well, no, they hand them out. I think they were based out of Tulsa. So that's a fun fact about Tulsa. So I know, like, they have Christian bookstores that I could partner up with and get my book into there. And then we have other bookstores. And I created this narrative, overthinking, because I come from a world of publicity, and it's like, get your book in every store, and, thing. And I'm like, well, no, and I'm making all of these overthinking, and then I'm just not taking action. So, and which is delaying more sales, which is also delaying more exposure into the town, into the city, so that when people hear my name, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that girl. I remember seeing her book somewhere. Those types of things. So that's like one way that I know currently I still haven't taken certain steps, because it's the overthinking and just not believing in myself, or not believing that someone else is going to. Like, I got one yes, and sometimes you just get stuck on that one yes. Like, when one person say yes, no one else may say yes. And it's just like, well, you didn't even take a chance. You didn't even go there and, put out that opportunity. So that's one thing that I want to do. So why I have taken steps back, and we're going to talk over, as always, I have 3 different points that I want to talk over with you. No, I actually have 4. I have 4 points. Okay. So the first thing is that we do this because of the fear of the unknown. So, like I said with the book, not knowing if these people are going to say yes. So I rather not say anything because I'm afraid of the unknown. And that is what a lot of people have the issues with. So yesterday we spoke about the fear of success, right? The fear of the unknown is because you don't know if you're going to be successful or if you're going to fail. So a lot of people just don't take any steps because of that. So that fear of the unknown is always going to keep someone away from their destiny, away from their calling, and you're going to keep stepping back keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So like this is like one of those games where you're taking taking 2 steps forward, and you might be taking 3 steps back. That's what we don't want. We don't want to do that. We want to keep taking small, even if you're taking small steps forward. I think God would be even more pleased if you keep taking little steps towards Him instead of having 2 forward, 3 back, 2 forward. Like you keep going back more than you going forward. So nothing is happening. And when you go to, you pray to God and you're like, God, well, I'm afraid I don't know what the outcome is going to be. Well, guess what? You have already failed because you have not even attempted. So we got to start reprogramming our minds and saying, I would rather know some form of outcome based off of my actions. I would rather know some form of outcome based off of my actions. And that's basically saying I will at least know something if I take action. When we don't take any actions, you don't know anything. And that's how we stay in that unknown area. So we want to make sure that we get comfortable taking steps into the unknown, right? Just challenge yourself. And I'm talking to myself because that is going to be, I promise y'all, by the time Monday, I'm going to have an update for y'all. I'm going to at least send out the emails to at least 3 different bookstores right here in Tulsa this week. Before I head out of town for the weekend, I'm going to send 3 emails because I can't stay in the unknown, right? The one store is great, which I got to order those books, but the one store is great, but I got to keep pushing. So I'm going to challenge myself in the same way I introduce you to challenge yourself to whatever it is that you are taking steps back and you're like, you're playing on that fence. I want you to really say, okay, I'm going to put something out there and I'm going to do it because that's the only way. Like, it's easy for us to take chances with jobs, right? Have you ever applied? Paula, I think you're still here. Have you ever applied for a job that in your mind, you're like, yeah, I might not get called for this job, but I'm still going to apply, right? We don't know what the outcome is, but we put our name. And I think that's because that is an easy form of taking a chance, right? Sending out your resume, especially if they make it easy. I tell people all the time, if companies made resume, who is calling me in the morning? If more companies made applying for jobs where it's just like upload the resume, maybe add some information about your phone number and your email address, I guarantee you more people would take more chances. A lot of times these companies be out here having you filling out all this other stuff that nobody wants to do. Morning, Robeson. Morning. Welcome to the fun. So the next thing that ends up happening that causes us to take some steps back is the fear of judgment. Right? We are living in a society, and this is one thing I do understand that a lot of people have a lot of fear of, especially with social media. So many people are afraid to post their content. They are afraid because they are afraid that people are going to judge them. They are worrying about what others are going to have to say and how they're going to perceive your growth, your business, your ideas. One thing I always say, anytime that someone is sitting around judging you based off of what you have gone through, what you are doing, and they're not doing anything, baby, that person doesn't even have a leg to stand on because there's nothing that it's like, well, I will take someone's criticism if I see them also doing it. But if you're just sitting around, like you can tell some people's pages, if I go on your page and you're hating on everyone, celebrities, people in your family, people in your community, just anyone on social media, I can't take that judgment to heart. And I had to learn that. Y'all always hear me mention Periscope. Periscope days, that's when I first really started to get online, especially with people that I did not know. At least when I started with Facebook Live, I knew most of those people on Facebook, right? I felt a little bit more safe going live on Facebook. But when you go live when you was going live on Periscope, because remember, Periscope ended up being brought out by Twitter. So I never realized how freeing Twitter was, even before Elon purchased Twitter. But Twitter's always been on a different breed, okay, of people, if y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, the people on Periscope were harsh. They were out here like, oh my gosh, you're missing a tooth in the front. And I'm like, missing a tooth? Took away my gap. Like, get out of here. Are you serious? Like, you're really sitting here judging me on something that I have no control of. Like, God literally made me this way. And I have a message for you that could literally save your life or answer your question that you might be praying about, but you over here judging me about my gap. Not listening to any messages. Nothing is resonating because you're focusing on that. And believe it or not, that has stopped me sometimes from going live over there. And I would just stay in my comfort zone of Facebook. So sometimes we don't even look at it from that standpoint. So many people think that, well, I'm going live on Facebook. Yeah, your face, and this is no shade to anyone that does this. Your Facebook page may have 500 people. 400 of them because they're your family and your friends, especially if you have a huge family. So you're going live. You're staying in your comfort zone. So now if someone was to challenge you, if you was to go get a social media manager or anyone is like, hey, why don't you go live on YouTube? Some people might say, you know what, I'm not, because again, YouTube is going to be another form of Periscope. People go to YouTube as a search engine. So your video could literally land on anyone's lap, like anyone at any given day. And that's going to open up a new can of worms. And it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a bad thing. There's going to be people that have something positive to say. And it's going to be a lot of people that have something negative to say. So you have to realize that and say, okay, am I willing to take a step forward and get out of my comfort zone so that I can understand that I'm expecting the judgment. And I think sometimes if we just know in the back of my mind, someone's going to judge it, that's cool. Right. And I had to get to that point. It's cool. No problem. They're going to judge. Someone's going to have something to say because this is what people do. They always have something to say. Okay. And I won't say anything smart because my friend Mandy is on here. Okay. We're going to keep this positive today. So why am I done with this? Like, why am I done taking steps back? Why am I done running? Why am I done? I need this shift to happen. And we are in the shift. These 21 days is a part of that shift because I had to fully surrender. Right? I had to fully surrender. When you keep, the one thing I always say to people, if you keep asking God the same question over and over and over, I don't believe that he is not going to answer those questions. But I feel like sometimes the more that he has to keep answering the same question, it gets a little bit more aggressive, which means it gets more in your face. Right? So it's like, yes, it's like you can ask God, should I do speaking engagements? And you hear that yes, and you get that peace within you. You hear the Holy Spirit say yes, and then you keep asking God again. And then he's like, okay, and now you might open up social media. And the person who's on social media at that time might be talking about walk back into your gift, use your voice. Your voice needs to be heard. And then you're like, oh, okay, God. And now God is like, okay, you keep asking me the same question. I sent you the yes. You heard from the Holy Spirit. Now I sent this random person in social media to speak on this right at this anointed and appointed time. And I said yes again. And here you are again. Now this is when you're going to be like me in Colombia, having someone walk up on you and they're like, oh my gosh, like your messages have been resonating, has been helping me. And I thank you so much. That is a yes in your face. And I think that when we surrender, instead of keep asking the same question that you already know, it's going to make it so much better, right? So you have to decide to surrender, right? And then clarity, right? We want to make sure that we have clarity through our actions. So we really want to make sure that showing up how you're supposed to show up how often you have dedicated to this. I made a dedication about 25 days ago, 24 maybe, and I said, okay, I know the one thing that I have not been consistent about is doing this, showing up, literally showing up, creating content, being live, connecting with my audience, connecting with people, giving them an opportunity to kind of see a vulnerable side of me, because so often we try to seem like we're picture perfect, and I'm the last person. I am not perfect. Nothing about my life is perfect. I just understand the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And I know that sometimes I will self-sabotage and I won't do it. Although I know I'm supposed to. So when I made this dedication, y'all see it. Even if I'm a little bit late, if I start at 7:05, 7:04, I am still logging in because I know that my call of action to myself was this. I said, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do this. So you can see the actions. You don't just hear me talking about it, right? We hear people say, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Okay, so when is it going to get done? We need actions. That's how clarity is going to happen. Because when I show up, I think over these last 20 days, Suzanne has given me an idea for a teaching series for when we continue just the regular every morning. I even think Paula, you gave me an idea for something. My friend Bola, she's given me ideas about how to continue the process. My friend Mandy, I don't know if Mandy is still here or Paula is still here, but Mandy, and also she does like gospel radio. So everyone is being here. So they're helping me with the clarity. The actions had to happen first. Okay. So I definitely want you to just be confident in that and just know that you got to be honest with yourself. And this is something that I was really thinking about yesterday because I was like, do you really want to do Monday to Friday, or do you want to do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday? And I just feel it might just maybe easier to just do a Monday to Friday, because then we start getting funky with holidays. And am I going to do a live on this? No. Monday to Friday, right? Because when you make it complicated and when you overdo it, that's when you're going to find yourself not showing up every single day. So I know people that only go live like once a week, which is fine. If that's the consistency that's going to work for them, you have to know what's going to work for you. What are you willing to really dedicate to? Right? The main reason why I don't mind doing this at 7:00 in the morning, because this gives me energy. This wakes me up. Like my body just be like, okay, once I finish, like I'm not even gonna lie to you. I woke up this morning, I got out of the bed before I took out the trash and everything. And now I have this big, beautiful mirror. Like my friend, she's moving. I'm so sad, but she has this big mirror. And I just woke up this morning and I was just dancing like in front of the mirror. I was just like, no music. I'm just making up the music in my head. And I'm just like, and that's been the first time I've ever done that, because I'm about to do something that I love to do. And when you can do that, that is a very important thing that so many people have. All right. So the last thing is that we also want to think about divine confirmation. Right. So when we talk about divine confirmation, is when that that God continues to confirm that you are called, and you are equipped to do whatever it is that you're doubting yourself about. So I know that I am called and equipped to do all of this. I know that, and it's something that I've never questioned. I did question that, because I'm always like, no, I always question, like, does this matter? Because sometimes you do get stuck in the numbers game. You're like, does it matter that, I do this if only, 2 or 3 people are popping in, everyone is not, it's not coming with the masses, or you end up getting stuck, you go on someone else's live, right? And you go on someone else's live and you see their numbers and you're like, they got all these people in there. Like, I need my numbers like that. But you have to remember, how did they start? I know a lot of people who are doing really well on social media, and they don't have huge followings. They can go live and it could be 10, 15 people, but it's the same 10, 15 people. Why? Because he's built a rapport with them. He has consistency with them, so they're like, they know who you are. And some people, like I've had some people, when they go live, I would drop what I'm doing and I'm tuning into their live, because there's a relationship there. There's a level of trust, but we got to trust. We got to start. So if we don't show up, they don't know what you're going to do. So this is the reason why a lot of us, we start having those questions with God. And it's like, dude, just do what I need you to do, and just do it the way I asked you to do it. I didn't ask you to do anything else. Just do it the way I need you to do it, and the way I asked you to do it. And I think that's the one thing that we all need to remember. So I want to finish off with, I don't want you to hesitate anymore, right? No more hesitation. I'd rather you try it and see the results. And this way now you can analyze if this is working, right? Like, honestly, one of the things that I am going to be very honest about, when I continue, I might not add, I might not keep Instagram as a part of this 7 o'clock, right? I think it might just be YouTube, maybe Facebook, but I don't think Instagram, because Instagram, I don't know if it's something with, excuse me, I don't know if it's something with, hold on. I don't know if it's StreamYard that is, it's something that's not connecting with StreamYard and Instagram. So Instagram might get, because I don't really get as much activity on my Instagram. I don't know if I'm gonna have to just organically go live. If it does better going live on the phone and build that audience and loop them in, I'm willing to try it for the first couple of weeks and do that. Maybe find a time in the afternoon to connect with my Instagram audience to get them pulled in, because I do know, the one thing I do know from education technology is that devices have, they play a role in how certain softwares operate. That's the one thing that does make sense to me. So it's just like, okay, Tanisha, I might have to just do that. But yeah, I might realize like by April, middle of April, that it's no longer Instagram. It's just going to be YouTube and Facebook, right? That's it. So we're going to also commit to consistency. So we're on day 1. Tomorrow's day 21. Finally, I did 21 days, stayed stuck with it, was committed to it. I'm very thankful for that. And now I'm going to stay committed to another form of consistency by creating an opportunity. I don't know. It's going to be a show, because it's going to have, oh, y'all going to watch. You're going to see it. I don't know when we're going to have it finished, but we're going to have like a new intro, a new outro for the new segment that's going to be happening. So even if we don't have it by the time we start on Monday, that's fine. We're still going to show up, right? We're not going to allow something that is delayed to stop us. We're going to keep going. And then when it does show up, then you guys will all see the new branding for the new segment that's going to be at 7 a.m. Okay, so just stay consistent, and that's going to help you to remain accountable. All right, because your tribe is going to keep you accountable. They're going to be tapping in. So all the people you ever follow anyone on social media, and they was always going live, and every single day they go live, and when they don't go live, what do you end up doing? You slide in their DMs. Hey, haven't heard from you. Is everything okay? We missed your content. And next thing you know, we might see them come back, or we might see a post and they're telling us why they are not coming back, or what life has happened over the years. So that happens as well. And then the last thing I want you to do is I want you to trust the process. Trust this process. This is God's process. This is God's process. We are just in the actions of it. And just try to understand that, remember, God doesn't make sense. So a lot of the times you might be out here thinking that you're going to get tens of thousands of people on the first time. And it might just be that one person who just needs that message at that anointed and appointed time. That person is now dropping in and they're like, oh my gosh, I needed this. Like, you answered my prayers. I would rather that one person get exactly what it is that I need than to have 10,000 people who are just here, not engaging, who are not taking in the message, who nothing is transforming in their mind and their spirit and their hearts. They are just a person who is there. So we also got to trust that process. Trust what he is doing and know that no matter what, he's going to stretch you, but he is going to definitely protect you. And no matter what, your purpose is worth it, right? Whether it's for your personal gain or for someone else. But at the end, we have to keep God above and over everything. So I definitely want you to reflect on this. If you're one of those people that keeps going forward and then going backwards, you get on the fence, you get off the fence. You get off the fence on the right side, but then you get back on the fence and then you go back to the side that you shouldn't be on. If that sounds anything like you, definitely reflect on this. I want you to definitely recognize the different ways that you have stepped back from your own calling. Have any of this come up for you? Are you self-sabotaging? Are you afraid of the unknown? Are you afraid of success? And if anything, and I want you to identify and start to journal that out. so that you can get yourself through this process. Tomorrow there will be a PDF for all of the journal prompts that I have done over the last 20. Well, tomorrow will be 21 days. So that will be a PDF that you'll be able to download. It will be on my link tree. So even if you just go to the link tree, you'll be able to see it there. And so I definitely just want to just continue and to inspire you to just keep going forward. Keep going forward. Keep going forward, right? I don't want you, even if you got to I'd rather you go forward and take a rest than for you to go forward and then keep taking a step back. When we start inspirational trailblazers, when we start reading, and we know what, I might bring some of it into the 7 a.m. session too, but it will be like more in depth with inspirational trailblazers. But I really want people to start reading this book, The Dream Killer, the Dream Giver. This book, there's a reference to that part, and it's like God would rather you take a pause than for you to step back. Because a pause can just mean you're just trying to get that energy back. Like, think about when Jesus had to go pray. He had to go up to the mountains and he had to pray. He had to fast for those things. That's a pause. That's not going backwards. So if you're going to take a pause and you're going to pray, or you're going to take a pause so that you can work on your breathing, that's a pause. That's not saying that I'm not doing it anymore. I just need a little bit of rest. And then you move forward. That's amazing. But if you are pausing and then you just you start scooting backwards because now you're afraid, I want you to definitely know that you can't shrink in this. You got to keep growing in it. And I want you to get to the point where you just grow so big that you're just like, wow, like I don't even belong in these spaces anymore. That's gonna uncover a lot of other different things that's gonna happen in your life. I guarantee you that. So get out your comfort zones, get out your minds, no more overthinking. Right? We're not doing the overthinking anymore. We are focusing on everything that we know that we need to come into our life. Sounds good? So I don't have a lot. Like I said, today, these last 2 days is going to be more so like reflective of the last 21 days. I'm going to try to pull together like some highlights and put that in so that for tomorrow we can kind of like see, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go through my clips and I'm going to find like 5, maybe 5. I don't want it to be too long, but that's how we're going to start tomorrow. It's going to be like mini clips from like some of the days, some of your comments, because that's the one thing I do love about StreamYard. I'm able to see the comments from Facebook and from YouTube, just can't see the comments from Instagram. So that's like, okay, fine, not a problem. We're going to just focus on the ones that are here that are commenting, and we're going to highlight that. So that's how we're going to end day 21. And then next week, Monday, we'll be back. So you might see me on Friday. Don't be surprised if you open up and you see that notification on Friday. I'm going to go live on Friday. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. Friday's going to be the unofficial start date, but Monday will be the official start date of like the 7 a.m. And I think Bola and so my friend Bola, we was brainstorming yesterday, and I think it's going to be like morning inspiration with friends, right? So we can just have like a good start of our week, have uplifting episodes that's going to talk about motivational messages, reflections, and then just like quick chats, what's happening out there in the world, that we can respond to. And I'm going to just learn. I'm going to introduce a lot of different topics and books that I'm reading, and it's just going to be like a little social time to get you started for your day, keep you uplifted, keep you in that mindset of moving forward towards the life that you really want. That's all that I'm about. I'm about introducing people to the lifestyle that you want. So we're going to also have guests that's going to come on that will start being like more towards the middle. So I will be posting a lot more advertisements. So you will see that to, bring more people in to be here with us. And again, I ask you, spread the word, share this message, post it on your timeline, on your stories. I always say, if you can post it on your stories, that's a very low stake. It's not taking up space from your timeline. and it's at least there for 24 hours. And that's a way that people can just see. A lot of people go through stories more than they go through actual feed, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. If you are an Instagram user, you can share the link to the YouTube channel directly to your Instagram stories or your Facebook stories. So just giving everyone kind of ideas to help me, to help you, to help me as I continue to help me and help you. Right? That's how we're going to work. We're going to work together. All right. So before we head out, please make sure that you're connected with me on all social medias. You can go to my link tree. My link tree does have all of my social medias as well. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention. I'm also going to download these. So I think I'm going to create a new one, but I've had like a Spotify, iTunes channel, and I'm actually contemplating even for these 21 days to download the audio and add them to Spotify and stuff. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. This is just an idea. Again, I'm trying to remember, I want to reach as many people as possible. And the only way that we can do that is using all means of opportunities. And so I'm one of those people that, like, if I can, because see, that's something that I can pay someone and be like, hey, I need you to go download the MP3 and now upload it to, copy and paste the captions, all of that stuff. And like, we can do it that way. So that's something I'm contemplating doing for the 21 days, uploading that onto my podcast, my iTunes podcast, Spotify, Anchor, and there's another one that it gets. iHeart. Like now, I think our podcast automatically goes to iHeart. So I think I'm gonna add that as well. And this way we can reach more people. Because the one thing that I have learned, and this is why I say sometimes you got to analyze the data. I used to do these free conference calls sessions, and I literally can go in right now to my reports. And I can see that people are still listening. And like some of these podcasts, some of these conference calls, recordings were like an hour long. And they would show you how long people stay. Some people were staying for like 50 minutes, listening to the entirety of these conference calls. So I never want to miss the people who are not, savvy on Facebook, because a lot of people are leaving social media, but they're not leaving the other means of communications for them to receive information. So I'm really I think that's going to be one of the things that we're going to add. So yes. Also, if you didn't hear yesterday and on Monday, if you join Inspirational Trailblazers this week is the last week for 50% off for the first 3 months. And you would get access to all of my empowerment sessions. But the one bonus that I'm giving for the first 10 people that join this week, meaning by Sunday, I'm giving you until Sunday, March 30th. If you join and you're one of the first 10 people that join this week, you will also get a free 30-minute lifestyle strategy session with me. And that is a call that you can use as a space of, you need guidance on how to get started with your healing. You're looking to understand, what does this lifestyle look like for you? How do you get on plan to devise it? If you're stuck in a space where you're not sure like what's next as far as career moves, and you're trying to figure out and you're trying to branch out, that's definitely an opportunity for you to do that as well. So that session is going to be however you make it, but it's only going to be it's going to be for my current members. They already got the link. They got the information. All they got to do is sign up. And then the first 10 people who do join Inspirational Trailblazers, they will receive access to that as well. And they would get their first free 30-minute session with me. That is a steal, because I don't know if you realize that right now the monthly membership for Inspirational Trailblazers is $20 a month. So you get 50% off. That means $10 a month, and then you're going to get a free 30-minute session. I feel like, I'm giving stuff away, right? I'm giving it away. So all you got to do is go to Linktree, make sure you use that code, and you will get instantly those first 3 months, and then it will go on to $20 a month. But yeah, that's it. Right? Books are available on Linktree. My courses, you got access to it. Just log in and Just connect with me, right? And so I will see you back tomorrow as we are finalizing. We're closing out our 21 days of living and thriving as Miss Inspiration. I am Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. Have a great day on purpose, with purpose. Be well, be safe out there wherever you are. You're traveling, you're working, and just have a great day today. All right. I love you. God loves you. And be awesome. Thank you, Paula. Thank you.